Okay, we're back here in Sales Academy. Now we're going to talk about the part 2 of preparation, which is your list creation. So it's really hard to hustle in the field, right? And this is probably the most common thing that's going to kill your productivity in the field. And in fact, it may lead you to feeling burnt out, feeling that you don't know if you're cut out or become successful in sales, and you find excuses about why you're not even feel like you should be in this industry. And it really comes down to actually not having a plan to where you're going that day. And that's pretty much it is, right? I see this with sales reps almost every single day. They come in and they let whatever the day is happening happen to them. They're checking their email, they're looking in social media, their boss is asking them so many different things. It could even be you. So if you think about it for you today or next week, do you already have the place that's mapped out where you're planning on going? Do you actually know where it is? Why wouldn't you, right? If you want to become effective, if you really want to be able to make money as you say you do, you should have places listed out where to go. So my goal here is to be able to cover how, so what I do is I want to be able to give you guys ways on how to create those lists, right? And that's what our goal here today in this video is to kind of figure out what are we doing in order to be able to get the list together. Now, just a quick sub note here, right? If you don't have a list created today already, right? After this video, you should actually sit down. You should actually go ahead and create your list, okay? The goals in these lists is to be able to place the business, who you're targeting there, who could be the key players, right? Getting the right numbers. And then another thing is when you're trying to find these places who you're visiting in one day, try to make sure that the travel time between one place to the other is close to each other. And you're not zigzagging along, wasting time in order to be able to, let this happen, right? So a good example is this. It's like, the way I create lists is it's pretty easy, right? You can make a variety of different ways of doing it. One thing is, let's say for example, you're targeting insurance companies. Okay, if you're targeting insurance companies, Google nowadays can actually take care of that. You can do a search in Google of insurance companies on the area you're trying to target. And what I normally do is when you click that search, you can even zoom in even further to see what are closer to each other. Another way is using association websites. So, one thing that I do, one of my businesses that I have is, providing healthcare services to the patient's home. And, what I teach my team is, let's go ahead and look for the right place we want to go to. So, if I want to go after, for example, hospitals, what I would normally do is I would go to the National Hospital Association list and go ahead and do that search. And typically you should be able to find their lists available online already. And you can download that list and then you can start mapping out your day depending on what area you're in. Okay? So, whether you are using Google, whether you're using the associations, there's a variety of different ways that you can actually start doing this. Another thing also, if you're a salesperson and you're coming into a company, you just started in the company, and you need a list, typically your company should actually have a target list already that they want you to go after. And you can base your cold walk-ins among those. If they actually assign you a territory and they say, here's the list you need to do, you can still look at that list and say, hey, are there other places I can go after within this list? Okay? Or can I do a little bit more research? But list building is the most important thing because, the way to look at it is you need to know where you're going. And like I said, within those lists, there are still small things you need to find within those, right? You need to be able to find out, hey, who's the key player that I actually need to reach out to? Is it the CFO? Is it the CEO? Is it the CTO? Who is the person I need to be able to target? And when you figure that out, you might actually want to be able to find out who their assistants are, because those are the people that might want to be able to help you get in. The next thing is you should, in your list, like I said earlier on in this video, you should find out the number to call. Maybe not just the direct number of the company, but is there a number you can find out? That's why cold walk-ins like this training, the cold walk-in, it's sometimes even better that you attend this training series, but prior to this, actually attend our cold calling series where you learn the skills on how to be able to use the phone easily. Because if you're trying to gather some of this information, trying to create your list building, you need to be able to be good at making cold calls as well, right? And sometimes I'm going to reference cold walk-ins as a cold call as well, because you're technically cold calling them. You're walking in though, but you're trying to call them out to come out, from their offices, or, try to call somebody out to be able to make you go in there. But the list building is probably one of the first steps you need to do, other than goal setting, right? We need to have our core fixed. We need to have a strengthened core before we start going out there. And that's the main goal here, is if, we get all the stuff that we learn, right, and attack that way. It's a lot easier, right? When people go to war, for example, they don't just jump into war. No, they collect data. What areas they need to attack. Who should they expect to be there as a resistance to them, so that they know what tools, what weapons to be able to jump into this war. I've even heard a lot of marketers, a lot of salespeople, refer to marketing and sales as a war, because there is a plan of attack, and at any single time we can have some traitors, or we can have some people that go after us that we didn't even know existed. And so that's the goal here. So list building is really such an important thing before you start going out there. On the next video, we're actually going to be talking about, what type of mindset should you have when you go out there and start, cold walk-ins, okay? So let's go ahead to that video and get started. Hey everyone, we want to be able to invite you to our 10xpatientreferrals.com, where we have our online home health marketing academy that's going to be able to help either a home health, home care, or hospice agency increase referrals, increase their census, and create a profitable company. Now, at this very moment, you're going to have access to these information through these training, marketing to physicians, how to get to hospitals, how to be able to get into nursing homes, and much, much more at a month-to-month basis with no contracts needed. It's just month to month. Now, guess what? We are offering you guys for a limited time 50% off any one of our plans. Just choose which one is going to be able to work better for you. So just stop by the 10xpatientreferrals.com at any given moment. So these are the plans that are available, whether it's the gold, the silver, or the platinum plan. Most people go for the gold plan, but it's up to you what's going to work for you. We definitely want to be able to have you come in and work with us. So here's two choices. Go to 10xpatientreferrals.com or click the link down below. Take advantage of this right now at this very moment and sign up with us. We would like to thank our sponsors of this video, and over here at 10xpatientreferrals.com, our goal is to provide you guys amazing information on every single one of our videos. So medicationreminderprogram.com provides daily medication reminders for your patients. They call your patients twice a day to remind them to take their medications. What happens is, a top reason of hospitalization for senior citizens is not taking their medications. So this program allows you to be able to keep your patients and not lose any revenue, but at the very same time, it allows you to stand out when you are marketing to other referral sources, because you're providing more services, more programs than the competition around you guys. The next thing we want to be able to share with you guys is they have 3 different packages available for you at this very moment. Choose which one works for you. If you're an agency that's just starting up and you have less than 10 patients, you can go with the silver plan. Or if you have 50 patients, you can go with the gold plan. Or if you have up to 100 patients, it is only the choice to use the platinum plan. But guess what? It's up to you which one works for you guys. For a cost of as little as 33 cents per patient a day, it is worth everything for you guys. The next thing is homecareansweringservice.com. It's an answering services for your agency. So if you want to be able to have us handle all the calls for you in the weekends, or the off hours when your business office is closed, we can definitely do that. Or we can even answer your calls for you during the day as well. Allows you to be able to do everything for your company. So homecareansweringservice.com is your solution for answering your calls on a timely manner. Now, before we continue on to the video, just need to be able to take a few seconds of your time. And so we want to be able to ask you a question. Are you looking to gain more referrals for your agency, your home health, your home care, your hospice agency? We want you to be able to join us at our Online Marketing Bootcamp that has over 7.5 hours of training. When you actually watch our bootcamp and join our Online Marketing Bootcamp training, so sign up for a limited time at 10xpatientreferrals.com